corner of our republic. I know for a fact that that altar, which some leader raised and says you will not allow people like Kalonzo to come to Garisa, for example, that altar is already defeated in the name of Jesus Christ of Nazareth. How I wish, Apostle Kui, that you are going to have that caravan move not to Kitui, move beyond Kitui to Garisa, to Ajia, to Mandera. The corner river, I think Dawa, which is a boundary between Kenya, Ethiopia, and I think Somalia. That very important synchronized point, the border of Kenya. Our boundary with Tanzania. By the way, we, during the administration of President Kibaki, when I was privileged to be his vice president, we took the decision to deposit officially at the United Nations headquarters in New York, the Kenyan map. That had not happened. Because, you know, if you look at the Bible, you see old cities and old countries like Libya recognized. Cyprus, a country, island, an island country that I had the privilege to spend almost a year in. Cyprus, and the significance of the king of Assyria and those areas. But a lot of people seem to think Kenya is described as the land beyond the rivers of Abyssinia. I think there was a time when the whole of the African continent was described as Ethiopia, almost. Until, of course, the Queen of Sheba went across to visit David. Was it Solomon? Sorry, Solomon. And I now think it is time for Kenyans to sincerely believe the next leadership. Well, how I pray myself. If God favors me with that responsibility, and pray for me, I would want to be a man like David, a man after God's own heart. And that makes all the difference. You cannot be a man under God's heart and then you ride on the blood of Kenyan children. Like that of Abel, was it Abel, Cain? The 100+ young Kenyans whose blood is crying out between 2023 and 2024. And many others as we speak who get abducted. And yet we know that under Constitution 2010 we got rid of, for example, detention without trial. That will never happen. Now, in order to circumvent that constitutional requirement that there shall be no detention in Kenya without trial, then you invent something called abduction by Subarus. You are put inside the boots of cars, na kuzungushwa. That is a form of detention. Even that is unconstitutional. Therefore, you have seen some of us go before the courts of justice to plead that corruption must come to an end. Well, today, very significantly, we have put over candles, said corruption must end. So, we are more than 12 disciples of Jesus Christ. Here we have men and women of God. The evangelical church, which by the way is very strong in the United States of America. You can see the American flag. We all know what the Bible teaches about the state of Israel. We know that the Roman Catholic Church in Kenya has stood very strong, and that is a challenge to the evangelicals, and come out. They have said that it will, like the preacher of the day challenged us on Psalm 32. They refuse, they come and they read